clock struck midnight. Outside, the city slept, unaware of the storm about to break. Inside his apartment, Papoose's phone buzzed relentlessly. Not a call, no. This was something worse. An endless stream of DMIs, screenshots, and red-hot gossip alerts lighting up his screen. He scrolled through the chaos, eyes widening as the pieces fell together. And there it was, the story, the headline. The woman at the center of every rumor, every conversation, every whispered gossip in the hip-hop community. Remy Ma, his wife, or was she already ex-wife, had allegedly done something unthinkable. The reports were chilling. She had appeared unannounced at a closed set. Clarissa Shields, boxing's rising queen, and the rumored new love interest of Papoose, was filming a commercial. Witnesses described Remy's entrance like it belonged in a movie. Calm, poised, but lethal. She didn't greet anyone. No pleasantries. No small talk. Just words that cut through the set like a blade. He's still mine. Back up before you regret it. The silence that followed that declaration didn't last long. Cameras recorded every second. At the time Papoose processed the news, the videos were already everywhere, viral, explosive, uncontrollable. We're stunned. This was the woman he had defended through decades, the woman he had married while she was behind bars. And now, she was at the center of a public spectacle that threatened to unravel everything. For a man known for loyalty, Papoose's. The reaction was swift and explosive. This wasn't the time for calm, measured statements. This was a line crossed, a history of shared love and sacrifice challenged by fire and rage. Before the chaos, there was love. Real, legendary love. Papoose and Remy Ma weren't just a couple. They were an empire. They were the definition of loyalty in hip-hop, a rare symbol of devotion in an industry built on betrayal. In 2008, the world expected Remy Ma to fade after her prison sentence. Many thought she'd disappear, her career a casualty of circumstance. But Papoose, he stayed. Through court dates, prison visits, and endless speculation, he remained her rock. Fame, money, opportunities, he turned them all down to be present, to defend, to protect. Critics mocked him. They called him soft. They laughed. But he never wavered. When she walked free, their love story reached its pinnacle. They married, cementing a narrative of ride-or-die devotion that would be remembered in hip-hop history. It was more than romance, it was a testament to loyalty, endurance, and sacrifice. A legend in a world where betrayal was often louder than the beats, yet even the strongest empires can show cracks when left unchecked. Years later, after the initial thrill of fame and freedom, the cracks began to appear. Whispers of Remy's fiery temper surfaced again. The same passion that once drew Papoose in became a wedge pushing him away. He spent more time on solo projects, on their daughter, and outside the walls of their shared home. Remy noticed. Her reactions became icy, subtle jabs in interviews, passive-aggressive Instagram captions, a shade that fans picked up immediately. The public didn't know yet. But the foundation of their empire was beginning to crumble. There was no announcement, no press release, no TMZ headline. One day, Papoose simply stopped posting about her. Anniversaries passed unnoticed. Fans assumed it was a rough patch. But insiders knew the truth. Papoose had emotionally checked out long before anyone knew. And the reason wasn't some scandalous affair. It was something far more subtle and far more devastating. A woman calm, private, and removed from the chaotic world of music. Not ambitious for fame, not caught up in drama. Just a different kind of love, a peace, and emotional connection that Papoose had been craving. This wasn't just lust. This was emotional betrayal. Remy knew before the rumors even hit. She had seen Papoose with the new woman, shared smiles and private moments, and she had stayed eerily silent. Anyone who knew her understood that her silence was dangerous, was the calm before a storm. Soon after, cryptic TikToks and leaked messages began surfacing. Remy warned the new woman, "Back off before you regret it. You know who I am." Some praised her for standing her ground. Others warned her actions were obsessive. Papoose saw it all. And for the first time in his career, he wasn't just hurt, he was furious. He unfollowed Remy on social media. He pulled away from their shared ventures. He quietly reclaimed his identity. Moving like a ghost through the remnants of what they had built together, every move carried weight. The emotional toll was not only on him, it was on Remy too. Leaked audios, screenshots, security footage began painting a picture of a woman unraveling in public, storming salons, confronting the new partner, and escalating tensions in ways that blurred the line between loyalty and obsession. Fans debated endlessly. Was Remy defending her love and her marriage, or had obsession taken control? Was this justice or a spectacle? Meanwhile, Papoose remained mostly silent. But even in silence, there were signs. Instagram poems heavy with betrayal, heartbreak and fear, signaling his patience had ended. The world noticed. This wasn't just personal drama anymore. The stakes had escalated to something larger, a public war of loyalty, betrayal, and reputation. Legal complications loomed. Social media erupted. The couple who once symbolized resilience was now fracturing before millions of eyes. The story wasn't just a breakup. It was a high-stakes drama, with every post, leak, and action potentially tipping the scales further. The world watched as loyalty, love, and obsession collided in real time. The storm was far from over. The internet had exploded with clips of Remy Ma confronting Clarissa Shields, viral screenshots of her threats, and cryptic TikToks hinting at the brewing chaos. But this was only the opening act. The real firestorm came when the new woman Tiana Cruz entered the public eye. Tiana, a 29-year-old bottle waitress turned to Instagram model, had found herself at the center of a hurricane she never asked for. She wasn't in the music industry. She wasn't chasing fame. She simply fell for a man, Papoose, who had been caught in a whirlwind of loyalty, obsession, and heartbreak. But her presence alone was enough to ignite a chain reaction that would shake the hip-hop community to its core. The first public acknowledgement of Tiana came indirectly. A friend of hers posted a cryptic TikTok, "You'll ever have a whole celeb. Wife threatening your bestie in the DMs? Yikes." Screenshots followed, showing Remy Ma's alleged messages. Subtle at first, then chilling. "You know who I am. Don't test me. Stay out of the light before you get burned. Enjoy it while it lasts. Karma's coming." The internet went wild. Fans were split. Some applauded Remy for defending herself. Others saw her behavior as an escalation, aggressive, obsessive, and crossing the line. Papoose, watching from the sidelines, felt a surge of anger, unlike anything he had experienced in his long career. He wasn't just hurt anymore. This was personal. It's a new relationship his emotional refuge was. Being threatened, and the woman he once loved was weaponizing their shared history against him. But Papoose wasn't impulsive. He didn't take to social media immediately. Instead, he acted strategically. He unfollowed Remy. He stepped back from joint ventures. Every subtle move was a statement. He was reclaiming control. His public silence was deafening. Fans noticed the shift. No more joint shows. No more interviews mentioning her. No appearances at events she was scheduled for. The empire they had built, Remy and Pap, was quietly unraveling, one calculated step at a time. Yet, Remy's presence loomed large. Leaked audios of her conversations surfaced, filled with rage, heartbreak, and trembling fury. Fans got glimpses into her emotional state, and the public debate intensified. Was this a woman defending herself, or a former queen spiraling out of control? Then came the footage that would define the next chapter. Security cameras from a New York City hair salon revealed Remy entering the location where Tiana had a standing appointment. At first, she moved calmly, as if nothing had happened. But moments later, the tension was palpable. Remy's eyes locked on Tiana, arms crossed, lips moving silently. Tiana, visibly uncomfortable, stood and left. The encounter lasted only minutes, but the internet reacted as though it had been an epic battle. Memes circulated instantly. "She's not going quietly, and loyalty turns lethal." Captions mocking, dramatizing, and amplifying every frame. Social media became a courtroom, and the world's judgment was swift. Some defended Remy, She was protecting her marriage. Others criticized her. A grown woman harassing someone who wasn't involved in the breakup. Tiana's supporters spoke up too, highlighting her innocence and fear in the situation. For the first time, Tiana took to social media herself. In a short, emotional TikTok, she addressed the chaos. Sitting on her bed, voice shaking, she said, "I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't know their situation was still messy. I'm not trying to replace anyone. I just fell for a man who treated me with kindness, that's all." Her vulnerability struck a chord. For once, the new woman wasn't cast as a villain. She was scared, dragged into a storm, not of her making. Her words painted a stark contrast to the viral narratives and memes. The outsider caught in the middle of a legendary couple's meltdown. The video racked up millions of views within 24 hours. Fans flooded the comments, sympathies shifting in her favor. Remy's image, once untouchable, began to face scrutiny. The story wasn't just a viral drama anymore. The situation began veering into potential legal territory. Reports surfaced of restraining orders, harassment claims, and allegations of property damage. Friends and family spoke out cautiously. The narrative had shifted from personal heartbreak to something far more serious. A public and legal battle threatening the stability and safety of everyone involved. Insiders suggested Papoose's team was quietly preparing legal documents to protect both him and Tiana. His focus was on damage control and safety. Every step was calculated. He wasn't reacting emotionally anymore. He was strategizing. Social media transformed into a battlefield. Every post, every cryptic message, every leaked video was analyzed, dissected, and debated. Fans split. Team Remy, Team Papoose, Team Tiana, memes, threads, and viral posts circulated endlessly, blurring the line between reality and perception. Even friends and family weighed in. Remy's longtime hairstylist posted a no-deleted Instagram story. "It hurts watching someone destroy everything they built just because they can't let go." Pap's cousin also spoke out, sharing that even his family had never seen him like this. The emotional toll wasn't just for the public, it was deeply personal. The tension escalated further. Reports claimed Remy had stormed Papoose's Bronx apartment, seeing Tiana's toothbrush in the bathroom, allegedly pouring bleach on the couch, smashing studio equipment, and leaving a lipstick note on the mirror. "She'll never replace me." Security footage captured her entry hood, sunglasses, head down. Once inside, no disguise could hide her actions. Papoose filed a non-emergency police report. He didn't want charges, wanted documentation for safety. Fans were stunned. The couple, who once symbolized loyalty, resilience, and legendary love, was now being publicly dismantled. The narrative had shifted entirely. In the midst of chaos, Papoose broke his silence not with anger, not with confrontation, but with poetry. An Instagram post, simple in format but heavy with weight, read like heartbreak carved in stone. "Loved a warrior? I raised a queen. But now I fear the woman behind the mask." The world interpreted it immediately. The line wasn't just heartbreak, it was a warning. Silence had become his weapon. Strategy had replaced emotional reaction. Every leaked voicemail, video, and post added fuel. Fans debated endlessly. Was Remy Ma spiraling into chaos? Or were leaks manipulating the narrative? Where was Tiana? And most importantly, how would Papoose respond next? Social media wasn't just a spectator, it had become an active player. Memes spread faster than facts. Viral videos became evidence in a court of public opinion. Fans, journalists, and celebrities weighed in. Every interaction, every subtle post, carried the potential to escalate the conflict further. The drama didn't. Simmer exploded. By now, the saga of Remy Ma, Papoose, and Tiana Cruz had transcended the music industry, becoming a cultural phenomenon. Fans, celebrities, gossip blogs, and mainstream outlets were all paying attention. Every post, every cryptic TikTok, every leaked screenshot was dissected and debated across platforms. Remy's reputation, once untouchable, was under siege. Social media painted her as everything from a scorned wife defending her marriage to a dangerously obsessive ex spiraling out of control. Meanwhile, Tiana Kruzennison, private, and trying to navigate the chaos, became an emblem of a woman caught in the crossfire of legendary hip-hop love turned toxic as tension escalated. A new wave of leaks hit the internet. This time, messages allegedly from Remy Ma's inner circle exposed the depth of her rage and heartbreak. Screenshots circulated, showing texts directed at both Papoose and Tiana. "Delete that post before I lose it. Don't make me pop up where she lives, I'm not the one." The timestamps aligned with reports of Papoose and Tiana at a private lounge. Fans pored over every word. Analysts debated, was this a woman defending her marriage or weaponizing her past relationship to hurt someone new? Some texts seemed almost tactical, hinting at fear and calculation. "You'll regret underestimating me. This isn't a game." The public fascination intensified. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary loops filled every platform. Every new piece of content reignited debates. Team Remy, Team Papoose. Inside the hip-hop industry, the pressure mounted. Friends, collaborators, and mentors quietly weighed in. Fat Joe, long a supporter of both Remy and Pap, reportedly reached out privately to Remy, advising her to step back and regain control. "Got too much to lose, sis," he allegedly said. "Don't let this destroy the progress you've made." Meanwhile, former allies, battle rap connections, and even old flames weighed in cryptically on social media, hinting at past tensions and past betrayals. Every insider revelation added layers of complexity, fueling speculation about long-hidden resentments and unspoken grievances. Fans began to suspect that this wasn't just about love. Lost It was about power, control, and legacy. The couple, who once symbolized loyalty and resilience, was now being pulled apart by forces both internal and external. The footage from the NYC hair salon became a central piece of evidence in the public narrative. Remy's calm but pointed presence, her intense stare at Tiana, and Tiana's visibly uncomfortable exit played on every screen. The incident divided fans even further. Some saw it as harassment, proof that Remy was obsessed and unhinged. Others framed it as justifiable confrontation, defending a woman fighting for the love she had sacrificed so much. For every replay, every frame, and every meme contributed to the viral courtroom of social media, where judgment was swift and nuance often lost. Tiana Speaks Against Tiana's voice became a rallying point for those sympathetic to the new woman in the story. In another TikTok, she revealed more of the personal impact. "I didn't ask to be in this. I didn't know their history was this messy. Just fell for someone who treated me kindly. That's all. I'm not built for this kind of drama." Her words humanized her, casting her as an innocent outsider in a war she never chose. The public's perception began shifting. Where once fans defended Remy, many expressed concern for Tiana's safety and mental well-being. As the public fallout escalated, legal complications became inevitable. Reports surfaced of Papoose's team filing for protective orders, citing property damage, harassment, and threats. Anonymous sources claimed that Remy had appeared uninvited at Papoose's residence multiple times, acting aggressively and leaving signs of property damage. Insiders noted that Tiana's safety was now a top priority. Papoose, once defined by loyalty and resilience, now found himself defending not just himself, but a woman who had no part in the breakdown of his marriage. The potential legal implications added tension to the public narrative. Fans speculated endlessly. Was this an attempt to protect Tiana, or a final move to reclaim control over a crumbling legacy? Papoose, while remaining mostly silent, began using subtle messaging to communicate his stance. An Instagram post featuring a haunting poem became viral. "I loved a warrior. I raised a queen. But now I fear the woman behind the mask." The post was simple. White text over black. But the message was clear. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was a warning, a statement of boundaries. and a signal that the era of public compromise was over. Fans speculated endlessly about the line's meaning. Was it directed at Remy? Was it a reflection on loyalty betrayed? Or was it a broader commentary on the collapse of the life he once shared with her? The narrative evolved almost daily. Every leaked voicemail, every video clip, every TikTok commentary became part of the story. Fans debated endlessly. Was Remy spiraling into obsession? Was Papoose overreacting or protecting himself and Tiana? Who was truly innocent in this triangle? Memes circulated of Remy storming through buildings, juxtaposed with Tiana's vulnerable TikToks. Reaction videos dissected every frame of security footage. Instagram threads speculated about motives. YouTube commentators created multi-part series, analyzing every angle. The world had turned into an endless cycle of consumption and speculation. And everyone had a side. Even family and friends began posting subtle hints online. Posted vague but pointed Instagram stories, interpreted by fans as commentary on the situation. Tired of grown folks acting like kids. One of the realest I know, Pap's cousin, posted about seeing him devastated, a rare public acknowledgement. Of the emotional toll, friends whispered to gossip outlets, painting a picture of a couple once celebrated for loyalty now spiraling in public. The narrative was no longer just about a love triangle. It had evolved into a cultural spectacle, a story about trust, betrayal, obsession, and the cost of fame. The leaks didn't stop. A document allegedly surfaced online, purportedly an email between Papoose's team and a divorce attorney. Though unverified, it suggested that Papoose was preparing for a quiet, expedited separation, citing emotional abuse, property damage, and safety concerns. Fans reacted instantly. Tweets proclaimed, "Pap is done." Hashtags like hashtag protect PAPOOSE and hashtag free Pap trended. Social media had officially declared that the saga was no longer just personal. It was a public war of reputations and legal maneuvers. The storm had been building for weeks, but by now, it was a hurricane of emotion, fame, and social media scrutiny. Fans, insiders, and celebrities alike were glued to every development in the Remy Ma, Papoose, and Tiana Cruz saga. What began as whispers of betrayal had transformed into a full-blown spectacle, a battle of loyalty, love, and power unfolding. In real time, the tension had reached a boiling point. Remy's public image, once synonymous with resilience and lyrical prowess, was unraveling before the eyes of the world. Every post, screenshot, and leaked voicemail contributed to a narrative in which she appeared both vulnerable and dangerous. Meanwhile, Tiana, the quiet outsider caught in the crossfire, gained sympathy as she revealed her fear, innocence, and unwilling involvement. And Papoose, the man who had once built a legacy on loyalty, was now forced to navigate this battlefield. With precision, strategy, and emotion, it was a Friday evening when the next explosion occurred. Reports emerged that Remy had returned to the neighborhood where Tiana lived. Security footage, captured from multiple angles, showed Remy walking briskly through the streets, her eyes scanning every corner. She was flanked by two men members of her inner circle who matched her intensity and purpose. Social media immediately erupted. Fans debated the intent. Was this a defensive move to reclaim her home, or had it crossed into something more sinister? Memes went viral, juxtaposing Remy's determination with Tiana's vulnerability. Reactions ranged from outrage to sympathy, splitting the online audience down the middle. That same night, Tiana went live on Instagram. Tears streamed down her face as she tried to explain her position. "I didn't ask for any of this. I'm just living my life, trying to be happy, and now it feels like the world is against me." The authenticity in her voice struck a chord. Unlike the calculated social media posts, this was raw, unscripted emotion. Fans who once criticized her suddenly found themselves rooting for her safety. Meanwhile, Remy remained enigmatic, her silence fueling rumors, speculation, and fear. Papoose, who had been largely absent from social media, made a subtle but impactful move. He posted a series of photos, black canned white, stark, and symbolic, showing Him alone in empty streets, in studio sessions, and in quiet moments with his daughter. No captions, no explanations, just presence. The meaning was clear. He was reclaiming his narrative, distancing himself from the chaos, and asserting control over the situation. Fans analyzed every detail. Some praised his calm restraint, seeing it as strength. Others interpreted it as emotional withdrawal or even coldness. But behind the scenes, sources revealed, Papoose was meticulously protecting Tiana, securing legal counsel and preparing to shield himself and the new relationship. From further intrusion, every step he took was calculated. A contrast to Remy's increasingly erratic public behavior. In the midst of this, Papoose posted another poem shorter, sharper, and more foreboding than the last. It read, "Loyalty isn't a memory. Love isn't. A weapon. Cross the line, and the silence speaks louder than screams." The internet dissected it immediately. Analysts debated whether it was directed at Remy, at the media frenzy, or at those threatening Tiana. Fans felt the weight of every word. The poem served as both a warning and a declaration of boundaries. It was a turning point, the emotional climax where patience had run out and action was imminent. The personal toll became increasingly visible. Remy's daughter posted a series of cryptic Instagram stories. "I'm tired of grown folks acting like kids. You taught me loyalty. Forget it now." Papoose's inner circle also became more vocal. Cousins, friends, and collaborators shared glimpses into his emotional state, describing a man torn between love, duty, and self-preservation. One source revealed he's always been calm, but he's broken. It's not just over love, but over seeing everything he built being weaponized against him. The family dynamics added layers of complexity. It was no longer just a triangle between Remy, Papoose, and Tiana-involved children. Friends and allies, all of whom were forced to navigate the fallout. The legal dimension intensified. Reports emerged that Papoose's legal team had filed a protective order citing harassment, property damage, and threats. Anonymous sources claimed that Remy had entered his property uninvited multiple times and acted aggressively. Meanwhile, Tiana reportedly filed her own documents, seeking protection after feeling threatened. The courts, legal filings, and rumors added a layer of real-world consequences to what had previously been a media spectacle. Fans speculated wildly. Was this just procedural, or the prelude to a larger legal battle? Every leak, every post, every video added fuel. Social media had transformed into a 24/7 trial, and the world was watching every move. The emotional strain was palpable. Remy, once celebrated for her strength and composure, was now seen as volatile and unpredictable. Social media narratives framed her actions as obsessive, escalating from confrontation to potential harassment. Fans debated endlessly. Was she defending herself, or had she crossed a line? Tiana, meanwhile, remained the sympathetic figure. Her candid videos, emotional vulnerability, and lack of engagement in the drama earned her public support. She became the lens through which the world judged the conflict, highlighting the human cost of fame, loyalty, and betrayal. Papoose's silence, in contrast, was strategic, but heavy with emotion. Sources confirmed he was careful, calculating, and deeply affected by the unraveling of a marriage he had once fought to preserve. The saga had now moved beyond individual drama. It had become a cultural phenomenon. Blogs, podcasts, and mainstream outlets analyzed every detail. Memes, reaction videos, and deep dives on YouTube kept the story alive. Fans debated the moral and emotional stakes, dividing into factions defending Remy, Papoose, or Tiana. Commentators noted that this wasn't just celebrity drama, it was a study in loyalty, obsession, and the consequences of fame. The couple, who once symbolized devotion, resilience, and love, was now a cautionary tale, replaying across every screen. Asterisk fans are left wondering, what will happen next? Will the marriage be officially over? Will Remy regain composure or spiral further? What steps will Papoose take to protect his life, legacy, and new love? The story isn't just about love lost, it's about power, control, betrayal, and the high stakes of living under a spotlight where every emotion is public, every decision analyzed, and every misstep amplified. Part 4 ends on a cliffhanger. Primed for Part 5 to explore the resolution, final confrontations, and aftermath of this explosive saga. The tension that had been simmering for weeks reached a point where silence was no longer an option. The internet, hungry for answers, had dissected every move, every post, every leak, turning what was once a private implosion into a public spectacle of epic proportions. Fans, insiders, and celebrities waited with bated breath for the next move, knowing that any step could ignite another viral firestorm. It began one early morning when security footage surfaced showing Remy Ma returning to Papoose's building. Unlike before, this time she was alone. She moved with determination, not panic or aggression. Her head was held high and her expression was unreadable. Social media lit up instantly. Memes, reaction videos, and tweets debated whether this was a bold move of reclaiming what she felt was hers, or a calculated escalation in a drama that had already consumed months of headlines. Inside, Papoose felt the weight of the weeks pressing down like a storm about to break. He had spent years defining loyalty, standing by Remy when no one else would. He had defended her through prison, ridicule, and criticism, yet here they were, in the eye of a storm of their own making. He knew this moment required clarity, composure, and control, not impulse. He called a private meeting with Remy, away from cameras, blogs, and the endless social media noise. Sources would later describe it as tense, raw, and deeply emotional. For hours, they spoke not about the past mistakes, not about betrayal, but about the pain, disappointment, love that still lingered beneath the rubble. Remy, for the first time in public memory, allowed herself to admit the fear and hurt that had driven her actions. Her fiery demeanor gave way to vulnerability as she spoke about the loss of the life they had built together. The feelings of replacement and the heartbreak of seeing Papoose with someone else. Papoose responded with equal honesty. He spoke of emotional distance, the need for a peaceful life, and the challenges of loving someone while protecting his own happiness. He explained that his new relationship wasn't about replacing her. It was about finding calm after years of turbulence. Tiana speaks again. Meanwhile, Tiana Cruz broke her silence once more. In a carefully produced video, she recounted her perspective. "I never wanted to be in anyone's crossfire. Care about him, yes. But I didn't start this. I'm just trying to live my life." The sincerity in her voice shifted public perception. Again, fans who had criticized her before now rallied behind her, framing her as an innocent party, caught in a storm she had never asked to be part of. Social media sentiment began to turn against the theatrics, focusing on the human cost of publicized jealousy and miscommunication. Behind the scenes, legal teams worked quickly to ensure safety and accountability. Protective orders were clarified, property disputes were addressed, and communications regarding harassment were formalized. No one wanted to make a misstep, especially when every public action could be scrutinized, dissected, and turned into headlines within minutes. Papoose took additional steps to reclaim his legacy, revising shared accounts, removing joint branding, and ensuring his public narrative reflected personal accountability and care rather than drama. Every post, poem, and comment was strategically calculated to reflect strength, resolve, and dignity. Social media firestorm as Part 5 unfolded. The saga's social media component became both the battleground and the judge. TikToks analyzed the body language in leaked clips. Instagram stories were dissected for micro-expressions. Twitter threads debated morality, loyalty, and fairness. The narrative shifted rapidly from celebrity gossip to a cultural conversation about love, boundaries, and public life under scrutiny. Fans split into factions. Those defending Remy for her raw emotions, those backing Papoose for protecting his family and future, and those supporting Tiana as the outsider caught in the middle. Every post, every leaked message, every public statement became evidence in a digital trial that no one could ignore. The defining moment came during a private, mediated conversation arranged through trusted friends and legal advisors. Meeting included Papoose, Remy, and their legal representatives. Tiana was not present, ensuring a space free of confrontation and public scrutiny. According to insiders, the discussion was brutally honest, emotionally charged, and long overdue. Papoose articulated boundaries clearly. He wanted a peaceful life and the ability to pursue happiness without harassment. Remy, for her part, recognized the consequences of her actions and acknowledged that some behaviors had gone too far. By the end of the meeting, an agreement was reached, both private and enforceable legally. Remy would step back from Papoose's current life. Tiana would continue her relationship without interference, and Papoose would reclaim his personal and professional identity. The resolution was not perfect. Emotions ran deep, but it established the framework for coexistence, respect, and personal growth. To conclude the saga publicly, Papoose released a carefully written message. Love isn't possession. Loyalty isn't a weapon. It's broken, doesn't need to be destroyed. It needs to be acknowledged and respected. We all hurt, we all make mistakes, and we all deserve peace. Remy, too, posted a statement. I'm human. I've made choices driven by love and pain. I will continue to focus on my music, my family, and my healing. Lessons have been learned. Tiana shared a final note of gratitude. I appreciate the support, and will continue to live my life peacefully. The statements marked a turning point, the end of public hostilities. It's the beginning of private healing. The saga of Remy Ma, Papoose, and Tiana Cruz became more than just celebrity gossip. It became a story of human emotion under extreme scrutiny. It highlighted the complexities of loyalty, love, jealousy, the challenges of navigating personal relationships in the digital age. Fans and cultural commentators noted several key lessons. Love and loyalty are not synonymous with possession. Public scrutiny can amplify every emotion and misstep. Boundaries and respect are essential for coexistence. Even after betrayal, healing and growth are possible, but only through honesty and accountability. For Papoose, the resolution allowed him to reclaim his narrative, protect his daughter, and pursue happiness. For Remy Ma, it offered a chance to reflect, heal, and refocus on music and family. And for Tiana Cruz, it provided validation as an innocent party caught in a storm. The story concluded not with fireworks or public spectacle, but with quiet moments of reflection. Papoose was seen in the studio, working on new music, his daughter by his side. Remy returned to performing, connecting with fans on her terms. Tiana continued her life privately, away from the social media frenzy. The saga left a lasting impact, a cautionary tale, a cultural touchstone, and a human story of love, betrayal, and resilience. While the world may have witnessed the drama in real time, those involved knew that peace and respect could only be found behind the scenes, away from likes, comments, and viral clips. In the aftermath, social media slowly quieted, analysts wrote. Think pieces on loyalty and hip-hop, celebrity culture, and emotional boundaries. Fans reflected on the lessons learned, debating morality, responsibility, and human vulnerability. The once legendary couple, Papoose and Remy Ma, survived not without scars, but with a renewed understanding of self, love, and boundaries. Tiana Cruz emerged as a symbol of unintended involvement and the collateral impact of public lives. And in the end, the story wasn't just about drama, it was about the fragility and resilience of love under the relentless gaze of fame.